What is going on, guys? Welcome to week number 14 of our Big 12 Team Builder Dynasty. We're going to be doing every team that you guys haven't seen in recent weeks just to kind of sum up this recruiting board and get you guys an update before we get into Conference Championship week and Bowl week because there's no more recruiting for that. So we're going to kick this one off with the Camu Amber Wave.
Let's get it done.
Crazy class for the Amber Wave, guys. Look at all these 70s here. They killed it this season. Donald Parker, the number 41 tackle, signed him up, 74 overall. Nick Williams, the JUCO, got a little bit of experience. He's going to be a good player for that defensive line. Jameel Carter, this is probably the biggest get for them in my mind. This is the wildcat type of guy. He can play some defense. He's a wide receiver, can play some quarterback. The guy can do everything.
And, Midland State was going really hard for Jameel out of Wichita Falls to the Amber Wave.
I think he just likes the idea that he's going to be utilized a little bit more than he would be at Midland State. So Antoine Skinner, we know.
Interesting.
We know. John Ryan, tight end here at 71 overall, good player. Mark Bellamy.
They needed to get this guy because they were
did.
going up against the Jayhawks and the Wildcats out of Lenexa, Kansas, and he's going to Camu. Stafford Smith, Watford City, North Dakota. Stephen Carpenter, they're going after to shore up that offensive line out of Kansas, another guy. And then we see some offensive talent here.
Philip Thomas. Let's see what his ratings are. So we can kind of, oh, no, we really can't, can we? No points to scout, so we don't really have anything on him. But at his height and his weight, 6'3", 270, he's probably a linebacker or...
Probably a lineman.
Yeah.
Could be a lineman as well. Serge Cobb was a good get there out of Illinois, power running back, so maybe he might be the next Golston.
Justin Potts, a good wide receiver. They really need an influx of some more wide receivers. Coach Bud Warner was actually hinting at the fact that they might end up trying to change their offensive way. The option led them into becoming a legitimate football team when they first came into existence, right?
But has that time passed?
The time has passed. They're going to start doing a little bit more Denver Techie type of offense.
Could be. Like. James Tutton's here out of Alabama. He's a 4-star as 68. So a guy that they need to get there. Jared Wade at corner was a nice get there. Key is a new addition to their board out of Washington. Scrambling quarterback. They got to like that. Randy Baker, tackle. So you see Watson. Then they got Harris and Hodges, so really shaping up to be a good class. A couple athletes there. David Davis.
Good.
David Davis.
I like the high 60s, low 70s. This is really a good job by Camu.
All right, we have Odessa State. Time for a Dust Devil update. All right, we got some guys coming in to Odessa this week. A lot of guys coming into town. And they've got a big game against Camu. I mean, it's going to determine who goes 7-5, who has a mediocre year at 6-6. So let's check this out. We got John Johnson.
I love how you say that all the time. Every time we see that guy's name, John Johnson.
All right, now this is the big one here. Pat Dowdell, Odessa State is making a move on this guy, and they get the final visit for him. And if you see his numbers, we know he can play quarterback or DB, or possibly running back.
Wow.
So,
Jabril.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at his some of his numbers for coverage. So maybe more of a safety because he's got that speed. So, but, I mean, they have a hole at quarterback next year, so he might be able to fill that unless John Johnson, who is coming to town, as you see there, he might go.
He's a number 4 quarterback. I mean, there's a lot to like. If Odessa can nab this guy, he would be the successor to
and Texas Tech really has the potential to be a thorn in our side because we want either Midland or Odessa to get these two guys here, and hopefully Odessa can seal the deal. But he might just slide right in there and start for the Dust Devils. Brian Parks, he's only a 3-star, but he's listed as a 76, so we hope
something's up with that.
We hope he pans out. Micah Gutierrez, we broke the lock. We picked the lock on this guy. He locked us out, and now we move up to second. We're throwing 700 on him. We want him really bad. He doesn't like our playing style, whatever that means. I mean, he's got some throwing and some carrying.
Oh, he's a running back. He's a running back. He doesn't like your play style.
well, we can always adapt to the players. We're not totally committed one way or the other. This, I will admit, I am cheating a little bit. I am laying off the gas pedal just so we increase the drama.
It's good that you can admit it.
I'll admit it because we're desperate. Our class is not shaping up that great. I'll admit it. Joe Patrick was an athlete there. We got him. Matthew Henry going against Armour. I'm not letting off the gas pedal against you. You don't need the help, okay? Get out of here.
Yes, I do. Against that, we need some guys that can come up and make a tackle, for God's sakes.
Clifton Purcell tackle. We got a battle on our hands with Amarillo there, as we mentioned last week. William Frazier in a battle with Broken Arrow. Lance Hodge also battled with the Armadillos. And then you see down here, we're getting some offense. Trying to inject some offense. Bryant Cross, I don't think he'll be a factor right away. Cedric Hall, we've talked about their defensive line issues. Not good. But
anybody would help.
Yeah, a lot of mid-level wide receivers here. We're going to need some guys. If we just project forward a little bit, 6 juniors to 1 sophomore. So wide receiver is an area of need for the Dust Devils. But this is shaping up to look pretty good.
All right, 22 scholarships remaining for Little Rock. It doesn't seem to be like they're capitalizing on a lot of their guys on the board here. We've got to figure out what's going on with Little Rock. And this might be the major issue for Little Rock, because they got a ton of people coming to visit this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at the board and see who they are targeting. So, got this guy center, Brandon Kent, a 72 overall, Thomas Lopez, a 70, so that's actually a pretty good get. I feel like he's going to be pretty good.
I do too, especially with this offense.
Yeah.
And Blake Thompson there at DT, they're in a battle with Broken Arrow, Webb. You got to pry this guy away from Louisville. So there's a lot of guys that are on the fence right now, and we're hoping that visit might push them in the direction of Little Rock. I mean, they're going to end up signing some of these guys at some point. Brad Jackson, as we talked about,
that guy is actually really named Richard Richardson.
Yeah, Richard Richardson. I went over that, didn't I?
Yeah. I mean, we can imagine.
You know what we'll do? Like, maybe with the ACU video, we'll go over some of these names we don't like.
Yeah.
And then we'll let you guys give them a new name.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
so it's not actually just doesn't have to be strictly for ACU. You can.
Right. I wouldn't do it for everybody.
No.
But for some select players like Richard Richardson and Joe Davis.
Or Antoine.
Or Joe Smith.
What about Antoine?
Antoine could be changed. So Terrence Grant at linebacker going up against the Dogs. Dogs have a pretty healthy lead. But Little Rock, they're close. They're close.
It's a nice board. They got some good, solid players here, but it's just kind of weird that they haven't been able to sign anybody.
I mean, it's getting late.
It's getting very late.
And we got 3 players signed. All right, time to check out the Broken Arrow Wranglers. All right, also some late visits. I mean, that helps because the later the visit, the more points you get. And let's check out the top of their board as sorted by overall. We talked about Lamont Christian going to Broken Arrow. Terrence Concepcion, I'm not sure if they had him the last time we talked about Broken Arrow.
I think they did.
But he is on the board. Daniel Yancey, a wide receiver out of Oklahoma. NC State's kind of fallen off the map a little bit here. I think he looks pretty good. More of a possession guy, maybe. And then this guy here, James Henry, is in a battle with Ardmore. Cedric Barrett out of Colorado, they beat out the Buffaloes there. Not too interested in this punter.
Really hitting that ground game pretty hard. 2 running backs that are high 70s, actually mid-70s with Barrett and Concepcion.
And Lamont Christian might be able to play offense, too. We talked about him looking like a quarterback, but we're also checking out, he's got some coverage, and I'm looking at his catching is not very high, so he might... We got to find a spot for him. I don't know if quarterback is the way we want to go yet, but we'll figure that out. Clint Stewart, defensive tackle. Kyle Johnson, also, so you see Ardmore, Broken Arrow. There's a lot of conflict here with these 2 rivals. William Frazier, we talked about him with Odessa. Offensive line, looking at Camu. So, Charles Bryant, we talked about this. I mean, he's looking at these 3 schools, and they all 3 of them have our subscriber-created quarterbacks on the board, so it's going to be tough for him to, see where he ends up going. I wish he found a spot that was a little more, like Shreveport.
But look at his top 5 here. We've had 14 weeks. Basically had over 4 months.
Right.
No, almost 4 months, and he hasn't really made up his mind on where he wants to go.
Yeah, it's odd. Dan McTaggart out of Ohio, one of our late ads. See some Big 12 teams up there. Brian Washington, he's looking at Ardmore, 4-star out of Florida. And then Mickey Browning, we got ACU's on the charge for this guy out of Slidell, Louisiana. And then down here we see a little bit more on the board, more offensive line, a couple secondary. I like the name, Bo Bradshaw.
That's a good football name.
Yeah, it would be a good name. And then, down the board, shaping up to be okay for Broken Arrow.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about McAllen Matadors recruiting board. They got 12 scholarships remaining. That is huge for them. Well, let's take a look and see what kind of caliber type of players they have signed. Like I said, it's good for them to actually get on the board with some of these recruits. Look at the guys that they got.
Yeah, high
80,
caliber.
79, 78, 70. So this team that has really, really underperformed the last 2 seasons, basically.
Yeah. They finished top 25 last year, but like you said, not the greatest year in the world. They got this guy, James Harris, big-time athlete out of Texas, Caldwell, and George. If we look at their offensive line situation, they got the 2 freshman guards, tackles, a couple freshmen there too. But no centers, really, so it's good. I mean, they need some more depth on the O-line, and it's good that they got those 2 guys.
Sometimes when, you can play center, you can usually play guard.
Yeah.
So they might be able to interchange some people.
Charles Brady, another guy out of Texas. So they're hitting Texas hard. Billy Adams is a guy, balanced quarterback.
I don't know why I got a weird feeling about this guy. I feel like he's gonna be pretty dang good.
Well, playing McAllen, they got a flashy offense. Abraham Young, athlete out of Colorado. So the good news with McAllen, they signed all these guys. A lot of points left over, although they can only get 12 more guys, correct? So they have the 12 open scholarships.
Yep.
So we're going to see what they end up doing here. Adam Murphy's another guy out of Louisiana. Defensive end Serge Johnson was just added to the board. Barnett as an athlete, and then linebackers.
I like these 2 linebackers, Omar Green and Mike Sims.
And Larry Harvey.
Ooh.
Let's see what they're doing at linebacker. I believe that was
it's just
desperate, but they got 3 seniors.
It's talent-wise.
Right. The 3 seniors at outside linebacker, so that's might be a problem next year. We'll see, in the offseason how that all shakes out. So, but yeah, down the line here, they're trying to get some wideouts. Whitaker, Sanders, Wesley, and Patton was signed, and then even more Dodd, and then Victor Johnson. So if we look at wide receiver was another problem, especially if they lose Carson Jackson to the draft. So they're projecting to lose their top 3 wideouts, and the wideout help later on their depth chart is not great. So it's good to see them attack that position this offseason.
All right, so yet again, another team that's really kind of struggling here with the scholarships remaining. 22 for Midland State. It means they've only signed 3. So let's take a look and see what they've done. All right, so they got 2 prospects visiting, Jeff Jackson and Sean Andrews. So we'll take a look at who those guys are and see if that might happen or it might not. They're going to need to get some things going here. They got R.J. James and Kent Collins. There's somebody else down there. That's really it. I mean, this is not good.
Yeah, Pat Dowdell's a guy they were heavily invested in. Already burned the visit, so they're hoping just to get him into the offseason and see if they got a crack. So we'll follow that, obviously. And then John Johnson had his visit recently as well, and they're still in position to get him. And they have Kent Collins though on the roster out of Toronto, one of the best recruits in this class. So they're okay at quarterback. They don't need him, but this is a guy they really want is John Hunter, and they're a little bit behind. So they're hoping to take a lot of this into the off season, really.
There's Sean Andrews. He does have that visit coming up.
Yep. And then Adam Murphy, we talked about him with McAllen. They're in a battle there. And if we look at their depth chart, I mean, offensive line is looking to be kind of an issue. Tackle and then center, they're going to lose some talent, and it's just an area that they're going to have to build up. So, but as one of our flagship schools, they need to be doing better. But they do have a lot of guys where they're in pretty solid striking distance, and I think they're going to seal the deal late. But I mean, we see here we're reaching a little bit.
A lot of depth guys near the bottom. This is definitely not where Midland State thought that they would be with their recruiting board. Head coaching has probably got to be shaking in their boots a little bit, thinking like, we're 7-4 football team here.
What's going on?
Yeah. All right, time for some top 25 look, and we still have Washington, ACU, and Denver Tech as the top 3 teams, just like we've seen for the last, 3 weeks.
The last little while, yeah. USC is rolling, and again, that 61 is not indicative like Florida State, 75 defense. We've been over it.
Yep.
That's why they're still in the top 5. I mean, they're still winning games because
they're not
highly rated.
Those guys aren't playing.
Right. Texas, number 6. So we're looking at a possible Texas-Washington showdown here for all the marbles, I want to say. Because let's see. Texas is rolling through the Pac-12 Southwest, or the Pac-16 Southwest. Clemson and Bama right here. We won't get Clemson-Bama. It's not a college football season if they don't play each other.
Wow.
Miami, Colorado, Stanford. Nebraska, 10-1.
Whoop.
They beat Nebraska State. Ohio State sitting there at 14. Wisconsin just lost, so you got some Big 12 representation there. West Virginia out of the American is number 19. We are
I know you
snap.
You didn't notice that last week.
I did not notice.
I was gonna say something and I just decided.
It's probably
not
good
to.
that you didn't, because I would have rubbed it in your face.
Yeah, well,
last video.
Get over
Nebraska
yourself.
State, man, we're rolling here. We beat Camu, Midland, and Amarillo to get to 20th, and then you drop from 12 to 21.
Guys, it's only gonna last 1 week. You're gonna lose to Denver Tech.
Well, mark it down, because this is a special date in history. So mark it down.
Yeah, exactly. It's only gonna be 1 day.
Okay.
1 week.
Look at this. Arkansas State gets in on the top 25. And then you got Iowa State, New Mexico. New Mexico's in the top 25. Let's look at others receiving votes. Midland is hanging around there. They're going to be in 28th place technically. So hopefully if they beat Amarillo, they're going to get back in there.
One of my favorite times to look at here is the Heisman Watch.
Yeah.
And look who has made his return onto the list. Jerkeenan Timmons.
He finally got back to number 1. It took him a long time.
It did.
It was a slog. Let's look at his numbers, though. I mean, he's on track to beat his passing totals. He's got more passing touchdowns in his Heisman year as well. Higher quarterback rating.
He got better.
73% completion percentage.
Yeah, that's big time, guys.
I mean,
that's huge.
He throws a lot of safe routes. Let me just say. But rushing yards. So he's still on track, though, because he's got 3 more games left. He's got this game against Nebraska State, championship game, bowl game. So he'll probably, I don't know if he can get that. That's 500 yards.
I don't think he can, guys. I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to have to get basically 200 yards. He's going to have to get 250 in the next 2 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I feel
that's
like
probably not going to happen. But his rushing totals are down a little bit. Their yards per carry is the same.
He's passing a little bit more.
Yeah, rushing touchdowns, he could match that. 5 touchdowns in 3 games rushing, he could get there.
I feel like the coaching staff probably looked at him and said, you know what, Jerkeenan, we know you're a better passer than what you showed last year, and you've obviously got a lot of things to work on to get to the next level. That was obviously what they were trying to do for this season, is open him up a little bit more.
Yeah, look at this, though. Steven Montez with 5 touchdown passes against Arizona, and then you got Gaskin. So
they're pushing him.
It's far from a done deal. This will be an interesting Heisman ceremony. You got a guy from Colorado, Washington, Iowa State. Not
Texas.
Schools you see every year in the Heisman chance.
Right.
All right, players of the week. Did not get any national honors, but Marcus Rodriguez, courtesy of Ardmore, gets player of the week. Man, I just can't resist.
You can't resist. Oh, when we play next year.
If we play, yeah. We'll see what happens.
It's coming. John Hicks will get it right down.
Yeah.
Oh, what a weird matchup that'd be. John Hicks and Janoski.
That'd be interesting. Monterius Brothers gets player of the week defensively with a sack and a fumble recovery. So congratulations to Broken Arrow. You're going bowling.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, let's take a look at some bowl projections. I mean, we looked at them last week. I just want to give you guys a taste of what we might see in McAllen, BYU, possibly Poinsettia Military.
I'm taking BYU.
Camu, Colorado. Camu on track for the Holiday Bowl. Broken Arrow to the Independence Bowl. I think that'd be Shreveport, man. This game's in Shreveport, so.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just that's great for the
You
fans.
need to
those,
travel, and then they stay at the hotels.
Yeah,
get the local economy.
Well, they need those types of fans.
Right.
They need those Shreveport fans, dang it.
That would be big. Midland State, North Carolina, projected Russell Athletic. Meineke Car Care would be Shreveport and Penn State. Interesting. Alamo would be Ardmore, Texas, baby.
That's pretty sweet.
That would be cool.
That is a cool matchup.
Oh, this game. Little Rock, Wisconsin, and the Wild Wings Bowl, maybe?
That sounds so good right now.
Yeah, I could go for some of that.
I need some beat-ups.
Oh, they're projecting ACU to win the Big 12, which would put Denver in the Sugar Bowl against Missouri. That would be a struggle to get the uniforms to work.
Oh, yeah.
In that game.
All that yellow going on, yellow and black. All over the place, all over that field.
Oh, my God.
Florida against Nebraska State.
In the Cotton Bowl.
And Florida's playing down a little bit.
That would be an interesting game. That would be weird. ACU Washington. Yeah, I probably would too. ACU Washington projected currently in the national title game. Things can change.
All right, guys, time to look at the week ahead. Week number 14 is going to prove to be a big-time week. Probably none more so than for you.
Yes. Nebraska State at Denver. This is our one shining moment.
Although, I don't know. I would probably take that statement back because Denver Tech's got to, they got to shut you down. I mean, you're on a roll. They got to shut Nebraska State down. ACU's got to shut down Shreveport. These are national championship implications here.
Yeah, let's take a look here, peek into the rankings. We are moving up to number 9 total offense in the country, man.
Shinosky just being implemented in there has done wonders for this offense.
But look at this, though. We're going up against number 7. Denver averaging 309 per game on the ground. That's insane. But, I mean, we are rolling with their passing game. And then our defense is holding up, too, which is what I like. Key stat could be turnover differential. I don't know. What do you think about that? Because we can't hang on to the ball.
Yeah, you really can't. It's been an issue all season long for you guys, whether it's running backs, whether it's Shinosky, whether it's Willis throwing interceptions. It just seems to... And plus the defense is whenever I watch a pass in the air, sometimes the defense just can't react to it, and there's a lot of missed tackles.
Yeah.
So
you're right. Tackling's going to be huge.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver Tech. I'm probably taking Denver Tech in a blowout.
Okay.
A blowout.
Okay, I mean, we played them pretty tough last year, and we were a worse team, and I think Denver was a better team last year. And
you guys did play them pretty tough.
We had them at home in the snow.
In the snow, yeah.
And our defensive strategy, I mean, we were playing 5-2, and bear was our base formation to take out the option. And we did pretty good. I mean, some of that might have been the conditions. And Timmons did have some big runs against us. And I'm ready. We talked to Coach Cuss before the game, and he said that they're ready. They're not intimidated to play Denver. And... he said it's been a miracle run. We'll just see where it takes us.
I would be very intimidated. This team with Denver Tech, they're looking at this and licking their chops, and they're saying, you know what, this is perfect. It's a perfect situation because, guys, now that Nebraska State's ranked,
they're aware of us.
They're aware of you, and they say, you know what, come get some.
Yeah.
Because we're going to run the football down your throat. We're going to vault. We're going to vault into number 2 after it's all said and done. Denver Tech will get into that number 2 spot. ACU possibly number 1.
Well, let's think about it. You beat Denver Tech.
Yes, I did.
So they're not invincible.
Yeah, but I had to play my mind off.
You're right.
That didn't even make any sense. That didn't even make any sense.
I know, but I get what you're saying.
I had to play my what? I had to play my brains out. I had to play my ass off.
Well, Denver Tech has a lot of big recruits visiting, so this is gonna be a big game for them. Their recruiting class, like we talked about, it's more quality versus quantity, but they do need to seal the deal on some of these guys. That's a statement game for them to do it.
Midland.
Amarillo, Midland. Nothing much to talk about here. The only intrigue here for me... No, I mean, just going off the ratings, Amarillo is capable of pulling off this upset.
They are.
If they did, and just send off their season on the right note, even though they're not going to a bowl game. Although I wonder if we run out of eligible teams, if Amarillo would be one of the first teams to get an at-large. Or one of the last teams to get an at-large. If they went 5-7, their name starts with an A. I think that's literally how this game determines it. I've seen this happen where they haven't had enough 6-win teams, and they went with Akron 4-8 gets to go to a bowl game.
Wow, that's really lazy on EA. I wouldn't put it past them.
So I wonder if Amarillo could still get to a bowl game, which would put all 12 of our teams in a bowl game. That would be nuts. I hope it happens.
Well, it's actually
I'm going Midland.
It's U of A, so it's not. They're not titled as Amarillo.
No, they're Amarillo in the game.
Okay.
So I was gonna say Springer might play this game, which would be, I mean, there's nothing at stake, but he wants to play. He hasn't played since I think week 4.
Yeah.
He's been out with a broken tailbone.
Yeah, it's
and
tough.
The guy had NFL draft prospects, and they're still looking at him, but I mean, at this rate, he's probably going to be a 6th or a 7th rounder.
Yeah,
especially they don't have any senior footage, really. So he needs to play in this game and play well. We'll see what happens.
They don't know what they're going to get out of a guy like that sat an entire season, basically.
That's why I said he's going to end up in the Canadian Football League. Okay, Camu at Odessa. Big game, I think, because the winner goes to 7-5 and really puts a feather in their cap. Loser goes 6-6. Technically a mediocre or an average kind of year. So what do you think's going to happen?
It's tough for me to be comfortable with picking the Amber Wave, and I'm not picking them because they're my team. But I think that defense is good enough to shut down Odessa State. If we look back at last week, where we saw Shreveport on the ground take it to this defense for Odessa, and just the simple fact that Shreveport has a pretty solid defense. Camu's got a way better defense, talent-wise, than Shreveport. To me, it just lines up for a Camu win. I mean,
I'm on the same page. Because
don't fall in love with the pass offense just for Odessa because it's pretty.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength because every time Odessa plays a team that can grind it on the ground, they get shredded. Whether they play Midland. When Midland's running the ball, they play Denver. They played Camu last year. They play Shreveport. They're 0-2 versus Shreveport in our Dynasty. They can't stop the run. They lost to Tulane last year. Dontrell Hilliard ran all over them. They just can't do it.
They're number 100 against the run.
Yeah. Give me Camu. Now, are you feeling the upset here? Shreveport. They've turned the season back around. They're on a roll back again offensively. Remember, those offensive numbers were really high at the beginning, and then they nosedived, and now they're back. They're back up. Do they have a crack at ACU on them?
Yes. I'm doing it. Have I ever picked Shreveport in an upset?
I don't know.
I don't feel like I have. I could be totally wrong about that.
You picked them against Midland a couple times.
I am going with Shreveport in this game, and the only reason why is because they have totally turned their season around. If we look at their last couple games real quick, they've totally turned their season around. After those 3 straight losses, the offense is now clicking. They got 26 points. They beat us, and then they beat Odessa. They absolutely school them, and now they have to go to ACU.
Yeah, and the one thing I worry about, though, is when they play good defenses, they tend to stall out. And we know ACU has an elite defensive squad.
But this is my pessimism inside of me, is that Denver Tech is going to somehow benefit from this game. They're going to beat you. Shreveport comes in, beats ACU. ACU drops back. Denver Tech wins, and they move up.
Well, this game doesn't matter to Denver, though. The only thing, because they're on track to play each other.
I understand that, but I'm just saying is it helps because you don't know what's going to happen in that Pac-16 championship game and how that's going to affect the rankings.
Yeah.
So any loss for ACU, it doesn't matter if they lose this game, they move down. Even if they win the conference championship game,
they might get locked out of the national title. If ACU loses and then they win the Big 12, we might get locked out. So, but I think Denver wants ACU to be higher rated just to guarantee them. They beat ACU, they're in.
Right.
I think that's all they want. But I'll probably take ACU.
It's a safe pick, but I'm going with Shreveport.
All right, McAllen. They got this back and forth with Odessa, like who's taking over the number 1 pass offense in the country. McAllen is going on the road to play Little Rock. 17th ranked defense. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Little Rock, only because I feel like Buddy Monroe has an edge as far as coaching goes. I think Gunnar Rivers is better than Rodriguez. The numbers would tell you that that's not true, But as far as a leadership mentality, as far as getting the job done goes, it's Gunnar Rivers all day. Rodriguez has shown that he just can't really do it. And Little Rock doesn't have a bad defense. I think they're going to be able to shut down Rodriguez.
I'm going to take McAllen. But, I think Little Rock, they win. I think they might squeeze back into the top 25. We'll see.
McAllen always seems to show up against bad defenses like Ardmore.
Yeah, and
now they get a tough test.
I think that would really be good for Little Rock. They go 8-4, 9-4 maybe. They win their bowl game. That would be good for them. Ardmore at Broken Arrow. Interesting numbers here. I mean, they're all over the place. Like, there's no elite numbers here other than maybe your passing offense. But, your numbers have not been impressive, my friend. I'm sorry.
No, the defense hasn't been too good. Number 37. Pass defense has been god-awful, 107th. Rush offense is not good. Total offense is decent. Pass offense, like you said, is probably one of the more elite numbers. But
we talked about, you got some recruiting battles here with like Henry and Davis and those guys. And you're taking on Brian Street. First time that Mr. Street will be playing Ardmore in this rivalry game.
Well, Street should be happy about this matchup because he's definitely going to be, he's licking his chops too to probably get some reps in and some good throws, and he'll be like, you know what, that'll be good for his confidence as they head into their bowl game.
And they're coming off a win, and they're playing you at the right time because you've lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah, but like I said, I think that game against Little Rock really lifted Ardmore's spirits, but then they went over and then they lost to McAllen.
Yeah, Broken Arrow's kind of they're like the little brother, like, they're the Michigan State to Michigan.
Yeah,
that kind of deal.
I think that Ardmore takes care of this.
Yeah, Ardmore takes this rivalry less seriously than Broken Arrow takes it.
Mm-hmm.
But they still tend to come out on top.
That's true.
So, give me Ardmore. I think Ardmore will win. So make sure you guys make your picks. I'm taking Denver. I'll take it by 2 scores. They're favored by 20. We will cover that score. Guarantee it.
We're placing prop bets on here now. We're placing spreads on here now.
Midland State will beat Amarillo close. Camu runs over Odessa. ACU squeaks by Shreveport. Remember last year that game was pretty close for a while.
That's why I'm taking Shreve.
And then give me McAllen and Ardmore.
I'm going to take Denver Tech in a blowout. I didn't pick this game. I'm going to take Midland State. I think they get back on track, go 8-4. I'm going to take Camu because of the ground game. Odessa can't stop the run. I'm going to take Shreveport in the upset. Believe in the Shreve.
Believe in the Shreve.
Believe in the Shreve. I'm going to take Little Rock because of the defense.
Homer. You are Homer.
And I am taking Ardmore because I think that we just need this game really bad. We need to go 9-3. All right. So that's going to be it, guys, for week number 14 preview. Hope you leave a like if you like this thing, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that red button for subscribe or my logo in the bottom right-hand corner. We will see you guys on Saturday. As always, peace.